live look near Grand Forks. There has been more snow to the north and the south, but with warmer temperatures tonight, most of the moisture now is in the form of wet drizzle in the Grand Forks area. Good evening and thanks for joining us on this snowy night.
Well, it's certainly going to be a white Christmas for many of us, with reports of up to 7 inches of snow in the northern part of the valley. Let's head right over to meteorologist Justin Fanfarelli for the very latest on what's going on. Justin?
And good evening, everybody. Starting off with the current advisories out there, we still have that winter storm warning in effect for portions of the northern valley out toward Devil's Lake and Langdon. But into the forecast area, they canceled the winter storm warning in effect for the Grand Forks area. Now just under a winter weather advisory. These are until 6 a.m. for the day tomorrow. We're watching the snow around the Grand Forks area tapering off and some warm air getting into the Grand Forks area, getting temperatures above freezing, and we are seeing drizzle out there, and it could be freezing drizzle as the system pulls out and temperatures get below freezing, but most of us would just see cloudy skies as we go through the overnight period. Temperatures falling out there into the lower 20s, and we're still tracking the snow. We'll tell you how much we expect and when it's going to taper off coming up.
A lot of folks are interested in driving. Thanks, Justin. We've got a crew out live right now near Grand Forks, so let's toss it out to Valley News Team's Cornelius Hawker to see what it's like out on the roads. Cornelius?
Hey Mike, I was going to show you the snow accumulation on our work vehicle. However, as you guys mentioned earlier, we are slightly above freezing here in the Grand Forks area. So what's coming down is a light drizzle mix. However, nevertheless, it's making the snow, the roads slippery. As you can see behind me, the travel alert sign is telling people to reduce their speed. I had the chance to speak to a driver from Canada, and he says how he's handling these roads is what everyone should be doing while they're out here.
Well, just driving a little bit slower right now, just making sure around corners and turns, we're making sure we're just going a decent speed, making sure there's no snowbanks, anything to be concerned about, just taking our time.
If you're out driving in this weather and find yourself on the road with a semi, here's some tips from a semi driver on what you should do.
Stay steady. If you're passing a truck or if he's passing you, just stay steady and don't get too close. When you're following each other or a truck, don't follow too close, and hopefully a truck won't follow you too close.
So as you can see, the moral of the story is whenever it gets like this, slow and steady is your best bet to get to wherever you're going safely. Reporting live from Grand Forks, Cornelius Hawker, Valley News Live.
All right, thanks. And also you can stay up to date on the weather conditions anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just download the Storm Team Weather app to get the very latest weather conditions and even follow the radar live. Just search VNL Weather in the App Store.
And as you pack up your presents and kids to go to grandmother's house for the holidays, police want to remind you to protect your home while you're away.
Valley News Team's Krista Baim shares some tips on how you can make sure your home isn't a target for burglars.
You know, it's funny now, these communities, used to be everyone knew their neighbors.
It's not as common as it used to be, but police say knowing and relying on your neighbors is the best way to keep a would-be criminal away anytime you plan on being away.
Let your neighbors know that you're not going to be around. That way someone is aware of the fact that you're not there, and if they see something suspicious, they're more inclined to call that in.
Neighbors can also help make it look like you've been home all along by shoveling the recent snowfall, even checking your mail.
That's another indication that a burglar might look for. They might open the mailbox and see that there's, a whole bunch of letters dating back 3 or 4 days worth, and that's an indication that no one's been around for a while.
A dark house attracts burglars the most, so timers on lights, both indoors and outdoors when night falls, will make it look like everything is cozy and bright. If you're away and your doorbell does happen to ring, you can download an app and answer it on your phone. It's called Ring. And all you do is download it and buy a certain kind of doorbell, and that way you can see who's at the door and respond accordingly.
Yeah, and if nothing else, at least now you've seen who's standing out, so at the very least you'd have a description of the person if you came home and your house was burglarized.
So go make friends with your neighbors and maybe even become a bit more tech savvy so you and the family can enjoy a safe and happy holiday. Krista Baim, Valley News Live.
I like the doorbell camera idea. Other more common apps like Nextdoor can also connect neighborhoods. Police don't normally do house checks anymore since the city and call volume has grown.
A rough week for a West Fargo business owner after his trailer was stolen. He says it had well over $100,000 worth of tools inside. You're looking at exclusive surveillance video that was caught by a gas station. The owner of C.S. Du Bois Construction Company is asking for your help in finding this white SUV and the people inside it who he says stole his big white trailer early on Saturday morning.
Normally Fargo itself, I don't hear much about Fargo. You know, when I work out west, obviously there's a lot out there that get stolen, but it's a different type of people than out-of-staters, obviously, and usually in North Dakota it's pretty honest people.
He says a police report has been filed and his insurance company is being helpful, but says, watch out, it could happen to you too.
A Moorhead gas station is shutting its doors on Christmas Eve. A fixture in Moorhead is closing those doors. Employees at Richards Tesoro at 8th Street and Main Avenue telling customers their last day is Christmas Eve. They say the owner accepted a buyout to make room for a road improvement project in that area. Moorhead Mayor Delray Williams says it's part of a MnDOT project to add turn lanes at that busy corner, which is designed to improve traffic flow. Those getting gas today were surprised to hear the news.
Well, I've been by here many times. I work at Concordia, and it does seem odd that it's closing. It seems like a popular spot.
An employee who worked at Richards for 9 years tells us that the employees will be able to work at the other gas station at the Highway 75 North location.
A veteran teacher who was brutally assaulted at St. Paul Central High School officially announced he's filing a lawsuit against the district. John Ekblad suffered serious injuries while trying to break up a fight between students in the lunchroom earlier this month. And he says it's not his first incident of violence, but the worst.
I've always been a safety advocate in the building. I've been involved in breaking up fights before. It's just never turned this way.
Now, Ekblad, who teaches science, says he wants to return to the classroom. No word on specifically what he and his attorneys are asking for in this lawsuit. The 16-year-old who was responsible for the assault has pleaded guilty in juvenile court.
Today, the Red Lake Police Department stopped people randomly throughout the community and handed out a total of 200 Christmas cash vouchers.
Today yet? No. By any officers? No? Okay. We're giving out $100 cash. What? Yes. That's why I stopped you. Oh my God! On behalf of the Red Lake Police Department, we want to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Nice, huh? Here's how it works. Whoever received a voucher then were able to exchange it for $100 in cash at the Red Lake Police Department. During the giveaway, officers also provided the cash recipient with an informational brochure discussing the Tawahi Initiative, and were asked to complete a brief survey surrounding the needs of the communities as part of redeveloping the structure and focus of the initiative.
It's Tuesday. That means it's time for our restaurant report card. This week, we looked into an offender in Moorhead. Papa Murphy's off 8th Street got 2 critical violations from their last inspection from the health department. The Take and Bake restaurant was dinged for not having an employee illness log and for storing cleaning chemicals near their food sink. The manager tells us he was hired after the inspection and says everything has been corrected. There was no clean plate winner this week, but to check out all the reports, head to valleynewslive.com.